Hey, what's up, guys? Today is Wednesday, April the 15th. This is reading, writing, and comprehension class. For today's assignment, we're just going to read from chapter 5 of The Giver. And hopefully by now you guys have written down and started working on your 5 vocabulary words so that you can use this chapter to help support your learning. All right, so we are going to jump right into chapter 5 of The Giver, and here we go. Usually at the morning ritual, when the family members told their dreams, Jonas didn't contribute much. He rarely dreamed. Sometimes he awoke with feelings of fragments afloat in his sleep, but he couldn't seem to grasp them and put them together into something worthy of telling of the ritual. But this morning was different. He had dreamed very vividly the night before. His mind wandered while Lily, as usual, recounted a lengthy dream, this one a frightening one, in which she had, against the rules, been riding her mother's bicycle and had been caught by the security guards. They all listened carefully and discussed with Lily the warning that the dream had given. "Thank you for your dream, Lily," Jonas said the standard phrase automatically, and tried to pay better attention while his mother told of a dream fragment, a disquieting scene where she had been chastised for a rule infraction she didn't understand. Together they agreed that it probably resulted from her feelings she had when she reluctantly was dealt punishment to a citizen who had broken major rules for the second time. Father said that he had no dreams. "Gabe?" he asked, looking down at the basket where the new child lay gargling after the feeding, ready to be taken back to the nurturing center that day. They all laughed. Dream-telling began with the threes. If a newborn dreamed, no one knew. "Jonas?" Mother asked. They always asked, though they knew he rarely had dreams to tell. "I did dream last night," Jonas told them. He shifted his chair, frowning. "Good," Father said. "Tell us." "The details aren't clear, really," Jonas explained, trying to recreate the odd dream that he had. "I think I was in a bathing room in the house of the old." "That's where you were yesterday," Father pointed out. Jonas nodded. "But it wasn't really the same. There was a tub in the dream, but only one. And the real bathing room has rows and rows of them. But the room in the dream was warm and damp, and he had taken off my tunic, but hadn't put on his smock, so my chest was bare, and I was perspiring because of the warmth. And Fiona was there, the way she was yesterday." "Asher too?" Mother asked. Jonas shook his head. "No, it was only me and Fiona, alone in a room, standing beside the tub. She was laughing, but I wasn't. I was almost a little angry at her in the dream because she wasn't taking me seriously." "Seriously about what?" Lily asked. Jonas looked at his plate. For some reason that he didn't understand, he felt slightly embarrassed. "I think I was trying to convince her that she should get into the tub of water." He paused. He knew that he had to tell it all, though it was not only all right, but necessary to tell all of the dreams. So he forced himself to relate to the part that made him uneasy. "I wanted her to take off her clothes and get into the tub," he explained quickly. "I wanted to bathe her. I had a sponge in my hand, but she wouldn't. She kept laughing and saying, 'No, no.'" He looked at his parents. "That's all," he said. "Can you describe the strongest feeling in your dream, son?" Father asked. Jonas thought about it. The details were murky and vague, but the feelings were clear and flooded him again now as he thought. "It was the wanting," he said. "I knew that she wouldn't, and I think I knew that she shouldn't, but I wanted to bathe her so terribly. I could feel the wanting all through me." "Thank you for your dream, Jonas," Mother said after a moment, and she glanced at her father. "Lily," Father said, "it's time to leave for school. Would you walk beside me this morning and keep an eye on the new child's basket? We want to be certain that he doesn't wiggle himself loose." Jonas began to rise and collect the school books. He thought it was surprising that they hadn't talked about his dream at length before they said thank you. Perhaps they found it was confusing, as he had. "Wait, Jonas," Mother said gently. "I want an apology to your instructor so that you won't have to speak about being late." He sat down beside the chair, puzzled. He waved to Father and Lily as they left the dwelling, carrying Gabe in the basket. He watched while his mother tidied the remains of the morning meal and placed the tray by the front door for the collection crew. Finally, she sat down at a table beside him, Jonas, she said with a smile. The feeling you described as wanting. It was the first of your stirrings. Father and I have been expecting this to happen to you. It happens to everyone. It happened to Father when he was your age, and it happened to me, and it will someday happen to Lily as well. And very often, Mother added, it begins in a dream. Stirrings. He had heard this word before. He remembered that there was a reference to the stirrings in the Book of the Rules, though he didn't remember what it said. And now and then the speaker would mention it. Attention, a reminder that stirrings must be reported in order for treatment to take place. He had always ignored that announcement because he didn't understand it, and it never seemed to apply to him anyway. He ignored, as most citizens did, many of the commands and the reminders read by the speaker. Do I have to report it? He asked his mother. She laughed. You did, in dream telling. That's enough. But what about treatment? The speaker says that treatment must take place. Jonas felt miserable. Just when the ceremony was about to happen, his ceremony of the 12s, when he would have to go away to some place for treatment, just because of a stupid dream? But his mother laughed again in a reassuring, affectionate way. No, she said. It just means you have to take the pills. You're ready for the pills, that's all. The treatment, that's the treatment for the stirrings. Jonas brightened. He knew about the pills. His parents both took them each morning, and some of his friends did too. Once he had been heading off to school with Asher, both of them on their bikes, when Asher's father called from their dwelling doorway. You forgot to take your pill, Asher. Asher had grown good-naturedly, turned his bike around, and ridden back while Jonas waited. It was the sort of thing one didn't ask a friend about because it might have fallen into that uncomfortable category of being different. Asher took the pill each morning. Jonas did not. Always better, less rude to talk about things that were not the same. Now, he swallowed the small pill that his mother handed to him. That's all? He replied. That's all, she said, returning the bottle to the cupboard. But you mustn't forget. I'll remind you for the first few weeks, but then you must do it on your own. If you forget, the stirrings will come back. The dreams of the stirrings will come back. Sometimes the dosage must be adjusted. Asher takes them, Jonas confided. His mother nodded, unsurprised. Many of your group mates probably do. The males, at least. They all will soon. Females, too. How long have you taken them? How long do you take them? Until you enter the house of the old, she explained. All of your adult life. It becomes a routine. After a while, you don't even pay much attention to it. She looked at her watch. If you leave right now, you won't be late for school, so hurry along. And thank you again, Jonas, she added as he went through the door, for your dream. Pedaling rapidly down the path, Jonas felt oddly proud to have joined those who took the pills. For a moment, though, he remembered the dream again. The dream had felt pleasurable, though the dreams were confused. He thought that he liked the feelings that his mother had called stirrings. He remembered that upon waking, and he wanted to feel the stirrings again. Then, in the same way, that his own dwelling slipped away behind him as he rounded the corner on his bicycle, the dream slipped away from his thoughts. Very briefly, a little guiltily, he tried to grasp it back, but the feelings just disappeared. The stirrings were gone. Okay, guys, so that's the end of chapter 5. So just be thinking about what was the big message that the author was trying to tell you. It seems like it was pretty important that he had gotten stirrings. So, it seems like he was starting to feel maybe like attracted to the girl. And this society wants to make sure that kind of stuff does not happen. So they give him pills to basically suppress any feelings that he might have. And in this society, they call those feelings stirrings. All right, so that was probably the big takeaway. It was also important to note that normally he doesn't dream, and now all of a sudden he's having these vivid dreams. So that was something that would also be, notable for this chapter. So anyway, hopefully you guys were able to catch all the vocab words throughout chapter 5, and that will support your learning, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.